Sorry for being late, as per usual, but...
Right. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Cal. Now, this was your second season in MotoGP, and it was a great success for you. Lots of front rows, lots of top fives, 2 podiums. If you had to pick one special moment from the season that sticks in your memory the most, what would it be?
I'd probably say being able to be on the podium at Australia. That weekend was a special weekend. I was really sick actually, and it was really close to me not even racing. So to go there and finally stand on the podium, but the highlight of it was standing up there with a guy that's retiring, that's the fastest guy on the planet, and the guy who's just won the World Championship. So it was a great privilege to be up there with Casey and Jorge, and yeah, when you're racing against them guys and you manage to stand on the podium with them, it's a great privilege, and it's an honour really. So and then the guys that I've been chasing all year, and to be able to be that close, I was really pleased.
Apart from the 2 podiums, I guess one memory which I guess a lot of people here probably were amazed by was the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Just for those people who probably didn't hear the story, obviously you had the axle injured, but just what did you have to go through to actually get past the race in regards to clinica mobile and the kind of tests they made you do with a busted ankle just so you could race?
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest weekend. Obviously I crashed and I thought, oh no, I didn't make last year's race, so I thought I've got to do something here, and they told me 100% you're not racing, and the guy at the hospital rang the circuit and said he's not allowed to race. So that was it, my hopes were completely destroyed. I managed to go to the Clinic Mobile in the night and said, listen, is there any chance we can try and persuade the circuit guys to let me race? So they were like and an hour in anyway. In the morning we bent the rules a little bit. We stuck a little injection into my ankle that was already broken, the size of a balloon, but they asked me to run across a room 4 times, which was obviously not the best when you've fractured your ankle in 3 places, and yeah, it was it was a difficult test, but I'm not saying I couldn't feel it. Obviously it was sore, it wouldn't let me move the ankle, but we managed to persuade them. They said in the morning warm-up, do 1 lap and then come in and then we'll tell you, the medical people. And I set off in morning warm-up and I never bothered coming in because I thought if I come in then they might not let me ride, so I just carried on going. I was happy enough for morning warm-up, and then obviously the race went not too bad, but it was difficult when you've got to change, you have to change gear at that circuit maybe around 50 to 60 times a lap, and you've got 20 laps, and it was difficult. So but no, once the adrenaline got going, it wasn't that bad, but I was pleased with that result. But it's always the same thing, straight after you're like, oh, if I would have just started a little bit harder I probably could have been 4th, but no, it was good. It was a great, great reception that I got from the crowd, and at least I managed to get out there and give them something to see.
That was a great effort. Now, this is the first time in a long time you were with the same team for consecutive years, and we saw your results were so much better. How much did that familiarity bring with the team and being able to kind of get to know everyone on the bike affect your performances and how good they were this year?
Yeah, it was, obviously I said earlier, it was my first year in 8 years that I've been with the same team 2 years running, and the consistency showed because the last time I was with the same team I won a British Championship. So being the second year in Moto Grand Prix with the same team, having learned the circuits, learned the Bridgestone tyres, and then we finally got to where we were now, getting them 2 podiums, and finally breaking that duck of the British riders of not getting podiums for 12 years. It was nice to be that one that done it, and yeah, I have to say I think Bridgestone helped in that as well, because we, obviously all the riders last year we put our efforts in and talked with the technicians about the following tyre for the 1000, and that seemed to suit all the riders a lot better. The Bridgestone last year were a little bit difficult to learn when you come from a different manufacturer, so now when we came there they made a good job this year, and we finally managed to do some great results.
And speaking of the tyres for this year, one of the key things that riders were asking for us was better warm-up performance. Did you find that, this year compared to previous years, you felt a lot more comfortable and they warmed up better compared to what we had before?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously we saw last year a few guys crash on the first lap or you know, on an outlap or when it was cold temperature, and the outlap of the practice or something like that. So we all put our input in and said this is what we need to do, and we've seen maybe one crash all year, and it was in really tricky conditions. So, you know, Bridgestone have done a great job there, front tyre and rear tyre. You know, obviously the problem we had last year was the rear, but even the front tyre we say is a lot better now. So it's great that, you know, the championship has a tyre manufacturer that's willing to listen to the riders' comment, and yeah, it definitely works good on the Yamaha.
Now, obviously, second season now, you've been getting podiums and things like that. Obviously, a win is something that, you know, you're always after. What goals have you set yourself for next year? And I guess it all comes down to, you tested very well this year, obviously pushing more for the podiums, but what kind of possibility as far as a win do you find it? Do you think it's definitely on the cards for next year?
I hope so. You know, obviously to win a Moto Grand Prix race is special, and it means beating some guys that you could not even imagine racing. It's like someone here that goes to the gym and runs and then go and try and run against Usain Bolt. You know, that's how good these guys are. They are phenomenal at what they do. So I think to win a race you have to be maybe a little bit lucky. It could be a tricky condition race, or it could be, you know, get away with them guys and have a little bit of a battle. But I'm not saying luck's involved, but when there's so many factory bikes in there and we're not on a factory bike, I think you need that little bit of luck. We have obviously Valentino coming back to Yamaha, and we have Marc Marquez coming in, who's going to be incredible. So it's going to be very difficult to be on the podium next year, let alone win a race. But I'm confident we can do it, hopefully, and we'll see how it pans out.
I believe Wilco Zeelenberg, who works with Jorge Lorenzo and you worked with in 2009 during your championship in World Supersport, he had a bet with your old man about shaving off his moustache once he got on the front row. Is that true?
Yeah, but I didn't really get it, because it's like my dad betting against me. He's saying, you know, he shaved his moustache off after, I don't know, 30 to 40 years or something. But he's basically betting against me, saying I wouldn't get on the front row. So yeah, we had him about that, but it was good. And then Wilco, when I actually got on the podium, had to grow one. So it was no, it was good. You know, it's great. It's great that the factory team, you know, Wilco's the team manager for the factory team, and still manages to help us. And that's what it's about in Yamaha. It's a big family sort of orientated manufacturer, you know, and that's great. You get a great family feeling there. I think, yeah, we need to work on the bike for next year in a few areas to be competitive with the Honda, but hopefully we'll be able to do that.
We hope so too. So as far as any bets then, Wilco's made anything with your dad for your first win? Do you know if there's any other bets up the stakes or anything like that? I
have not got a clue, but hopefully it's nothing to do with being naked or anything like that. So no, we'll I don't know, I'll try my best for that win, and then surely someone's got to do something. If I do it, then maybe I'll do something. So I'm not jumping in any ponds like Lorenzo and all that, because he nearly drowned that time. So but yeah, we'll find a good thing coming, I'm sure.
Thanks so much for joining us, Cal. Just one last question before we get you to sign some autographs. Obviously we've got quite a crowd with us here today. If there's any kind of young guys or girls in the crowd looking to get into racing, is there one bit of advice you could give, something that maybe helped you along the way through your racing career that you could probably share?
Yeah, you know, as we all know, motorcycle racing is a difficult sport to get into, really difficult. But, you know, if the people have the passion for it, they'll keep going. You know, I was very lucky and very fortunate. So, you know, I had my dad help me at the start, and then we managed to get a good ride, and I built from there. So, there's no doubt, and you know, it's these guys that buy the bikes that, you know, make us be able to race. Because if they never bought the bikes and the clothing and the stuff like that, and the tyres, you know, we wouldn't be able to be where we are now. So hopefully there's some more guys coming up, and hopefully they're not challenging me too much. So I'll be, you know, calm on down. So yeah, I'm not giving any too much advice in case they come and beat me. So it'll be no good then.
Well, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give a big hand to Cal Crutchlow for joining us here.